Hi everyone, this is Nick. Wow, today I'm very excited because I'm going to be reviewing the first new launch of 2025. This is the Orie. It's at Toa Payoh, Lorong 1. Very exciting because this is the first new launch in Toa Payoh after 9 years. The previous one is in Gem Residences. So Toa Payoh is a very interesting estate. Later I will go through much more in detail. So this whole analysis, right, is we're going to break down all the different floor plans for all the different bedroom types. We're going to strategize which one should you be prioritizing first, and I'll share with you why I think so. And this will help you really a lot in the balloting phase, because right now, after we've been through Emerald of Katong and Chuan Park, we all know how stressful balloting can be. So this video will really help you if you're thinking of getting a unit at the Orie. Which unit should you prioritize and why you should do that? Because the worst case may happen if you never prioritize and you have a very good queue number, maybe within the first 100 queue number, but you buy the wrong unit. You don't want to do that, because if you do that, then next time when you want to sell a unit, it can be very difficult. So stay tuned to the end of the video. We will cover from 1 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom for the Orie, and you definitely will know which unit to prioritize. If you are new to this channel, my name is Nicholas. Thank you for watching for this video. I cover real estate content like this, about real estate analysis and also in-depth project analysis for all the new launches, to help you prioritize which bedroom types to go for and what to do for balloting. So if you like this kind of content, please do subscribe and like this video, because it will really help the channel grow. So let's get down to it. So first thing to understand Toa Payoh is an estate where there's very limited supply of condo within Toa Payoh. To give you some context, we compare between Toa Payoh and Punggol. So Punggol, we have about 50,000 units of HDB, as in 2019. This is data I've gotten from HDB website. Then we compare Punggol total condo units, including EC, we have about 9,000 units. So given this, right, the condo unit mix is about 15% of the total residential units for HDB and condo within Punggol itself. So 15% condo, about 85% is HDB. So this is like a pretty much a standard ratio we will see within Singapore. Then we have Toa Payoh. Toa Payoh, in terms of condo, we can use our 5 fingers to count, like Oriental Towers, 1998 TOP, 99 years, 318 units. Trellis Towers is the only freehold, TOP in 2000. So these two are quite small projects. Then we have Travista, Gem, and now we have Orie. So in total, only 5 condos within Toa Payoh. Sure, there are condos that's a bit outside, like Thomson, your Balestier, or even Novena, but within Toa Payoh itself, only these 5. Whereas Toa Payoh HDB, there's about 37,900. Once again, I got this data from HDB website. It's about accurate in 2018. So for Toa Payoh, condo only makes up 6.5% of the total residential units within Toa Payoh, HDB plus condo. So comparing this with Punggol, right, wow, this is like much more rare to own a condo within Toa Payoh. So let's try to understand how will this matter to you if you're looking to buy a unit at the Orie. So to understand that, we look at Gem Residences when it was launched in 2016. So in 2016, let me give you some context of how the market was like. So back then, this article was in 2016. Home prices were dropping, the outlook for property wasn't the best. In fact, it was quite a down market. A lot of people needed a lot of convincing to enter the market, because I think prices were a bit too high for people to accept at the time. So it was a very slow market. Yet, when Gem launched, right, about 50% was sold on launch day. Why is this the case? It's because there's a lot of pent-up demand within Toa Payoh. As I mentioned, very limited condo supply. And previously, before Gem Residences, the previous condo was Travista, and that was launched in 2009. So between 2009 to 2016, we are looking at about 7 years difference. And Travista also sold more than 50% during the launch day. So we can see that because of the unit mix of Toa Payoh, we have so many more HDB compared to condo. Whenever there's a condo launch in Toa Payoh, we can expect a very huge turnout for these new launches. So this slide is to show you in a down market, 2016, Gem can also achieve 50% sold out during the first day. In current market, after Emerald of Katong and Chuan Park success, I think during January when the Orie is launched, right, we can expect a much more higher turnout for the Orie. So if you are looking to buy the Orie, I highly recommend you to start strategizing, maybe find family members to do bulk purchase. Because if not, I highly don't think you'll be able to get a unit, just like Emerald of Katong. So if you are someone that really likes Toa Payoh as a location, you see there's good potential, you need to strategize. Because if you're just going in to buy as a single purchaser, highly likely you will not be able to get a unit. And this is regardless of what unit type, because as you can see for Emerald of Katong success, even the 5-bedroom was sold out during day one of the launch. So it's crazy. I'm not going to doubt it because these are people who they have spare names, because unlikely they're paying ABSD, and also they have 2-3 million spare cash, or even maybe up to 4 million of spare cash to enter the market at any point in time. So right now, this is the market we are in, whether we like it or not. So if you're someone who is looking to buy a unit at the Orie, better start strategizing now. We are in December, as the time of shoot right now. January is very fast. So you need to strategize, talk to your family members. We do need a proof of relationship to go for bulk purchase. But bulk purchase really help you to be in front of the queue, because after bulk purchase, there's a lot of like agent purchase also. So that will take up quite a bit of the units. So yeah. Okay, more about the GLS side for this. So CDL is the developer for the Orie. They bidded 968 million bid. There are only 3 bidders. This is a key thing. So why is this the case? Is because at that time, the market was not as optimistic as today. So a lot of the developers did not have the stomach or the appetite to stomach the entire this plot of land, because it's quite big, and because Toa Payoh is a very mature estate. It's not that easy for any developer to come in and say, I want that plot of land, given that the market outlook wasn't that great. So only 3 bidders came into the picture, and CDL being the highest. So given this 1360 per square feet PPR, this is the land bid price, the winning land bid price. Estimated break even is about 2305. This is given by HProp. Then we factor in developers' profit margin about 15% to 20% between this range. We are looking at either 2651 or 2766. So for the purpose of this analysis, I'm going to use 2007 for the smaller units and maybe 2006 for the bigger units. And this actually makes sense because Trump Park average PSF was about 2579, about close to 2006. So logically speaking, even though we are slightly further from MRT, this is about 5 minutes walk from Braddell MRT, Toa Payoh, I believe, is still a more prime location than Lorong Chuan. It is expected that launch prices will be higher than Trump Park, so bear in mind about that. So location, as I mentioned, we are 5 minutes away to Braddell MRT. Braddell MRT is quite strategic because we are just 1 MRT stop away from Bishan MRT, which is interchange for the Circle Line. That leads you to places like One North, Paya Lebar, Botanic Gardens, and so on and so forth. So if not, you're also one stop to Toa Payoh. Braddell is a nice sweet spot because if you don't like the hustle and bustle, you are not directly close to Toa Payoh HDB hub area. So Braddell is a bit less crowded. In the more immediate vicinity, we do have all these food options. We have your hawker center, we have cafe, Indian Muslim food. We also have the supermarket, fair price, we all within this estate here, which is really just doorstep to the Orie. Yeah, so since we have this location map, maybe I just share with you a bit more of what I understand. So Gem Residences, as I mentioned, is just beside the Orie. Fun fact, Gem Residences was an Esso petrol kiosk because this road is a very common road that if you come from Bishan or CT and you want to enter Toa Payoh, this is one of the gateways to enter Toa Payoh, and I always pass by here in the past. There's a huge temple, iconic temple over here, and Gem Residences is just beside this temple. But before Gem Residences was a condo, it was only a site for Esso petrol kiosk. Yet they're able to convert that into almost 40-story condos. So that's how prime Toa Payoh is as a land, because if you look at the location map, there is no free land. If you want free plots of land, you have to go all the way to Caldecott site already, but within Toa Payoh, no more. And that's why they converted that petrol kiosk into Gem, and even for the Orie, it was the Police Security Command, and then that is being shifted out. Then government make it a GLS, and that's how we have the Orie. So Toa Payoh land, very, very scarce. In fact, a lot of the HDBs are also your 40 stories, the newer ones. And that's why, since there's so limited supply of condos within Toa Payoh itself, we believe the Orie will be very, very hot in demand. Project information, so we have 2 blocks, Block 10, Block 12, total 2 blocks of 40-story apartments. Then 99 years leasehold, 777 units. Expected TOP 2030, maybe early, maybe about 2029 thereabout, but on paper estimated is 2030. Then we don't have one-to-one car park lot because we are fairly near to the MRT. That's also expected. So yes, this is the project information. For schools, we do have quite a few schools that's within 1 km. First, Toa Payoh, Patrin, this is a good school. If you go and Google it, King Cheng and also Guangyang, these are all very mature schools, like I would say. Even when I was in primary school, or even when our parents in primary school, these schools are already there. So these are all renowned schools. Then let's go into the site plan and the unit distribution chart and unit mix. So this is the site plan that we have currently. It's a bit basic, but bear with us. So 2 blocks over here, Block 10 and Block 12, 40 stories. They stagger the blocks a bit further out so that we can maximize views from here and also here. And this is north facing. North is over here. This is south facing. Both facing, later we'll look at the views. All pretty not bad. On the high floors, there's unblocked view for that. One key feature that I want to highlight is that we do have a basement car park. For gen residences, unfortunately, they do not. It's a multi-story car park. So for Orie, that is good news because basement car park is definitely a much better experience than when you go back home. Even if it's raining, you can park your car at your block and directly go up to your unit. As compared to if it's multi-story car park, you need to go to level 1 and then walk through the sheltered walkway to your block. If the rain is very heavy, you may be splattered by the rain. So that's not a very good user experience. For your guests, when they do visit you, if it's a multi-story car park situation, they may need to park at level 4, level 5, the multi-story car park. So that's also not a very good user experience when they want to visit you. And also, if let's say you come back home late at night, no more car park lots, then you have to keep spinning up to the multi-story car park, and that's also not something that you may like. So basement car park definitely is a huge plus for this project. We have full condo facilities, as you see. We have a pool, the tennis court is over here, so that's a plus point. Main entrance is along Lorong 1, Toa Payoh, so in and out. One good thing is that there's an exit for the cars over here. So if you do want to go to your CTE, you can directly access from here, come out, and then make a right turn towards CTE. And that is very helpful because you don't need to turn out from here and make a U-turn thereafter. You don't need to. So this secondary exit is very, very helpful. One thing to note also that for this site plan, the 4-bedroom D1 and D3S unfortunately will be blocked, in the sense that you are just facing the next block, rather than you have a very nice unblocked view. Why is this the case is perhaps the developer wanted to prioritize E1 to have that really nice unblocked view with a nice setback. So unfortunately, then the smaller 4-bedroom will have to be on the inside facing each other. Then another thing to highlight, which I will highlight again later, is that if you take note at here, there's a gap between C1 and B1 and here. So usually for this kind of 2-block structure, most developers will build all the units side by side just like that. So what would that mean to you is that if it's built like that, then the units in between will not have space to have windows for their kitchen or windows for their bathrooms because there's simply no real estate for that. But for this B1 and C1, when there's a gap, then developer is able to build the extra window for your room, for your bathroom, or for your kitchen. So that's a very nice additional touch that the developer has done because it's additional cost for them to build a longer walkway as well. Then this is the distribution chart. So we have 40 stories. Most of the unit types will have 39 units in one stack. But yeah, similarly, it's just throughout. There's no, level 1 to level 40. Only level 1, you don't have any unit. Unit mix, we have 60% 1 plus study. So the smallest unit type is a 1 plus study. 60% of the units are between 1 plus study, the 2-bed 1 bath, 2-bed 2 bath, 2-bed premium, and the 2 plus study. and also the 3-bedroom 850 square feet. Then 40% will be the bigger 3-bedroom all the way to the 5-bedroom. This is a pretty standard ratio as most of the units are around here, the smaller unit type, 1+ study all the way to the smaller 3-bedroom. Okay, so this is the views that you will get to see. Southern facing, this will be facing towards the city. This is your CBD over here. The perk of this facing is that maybe during National Day or F1 season, you might get some fireworks over here. But of course, you need to be very high floor lah. And this facing is a bit more unblocked at the lower floor compared to the north facing, which is this. So both facing, you do have some HDB surrounding you, but for the northern facing, the HDB immediately in front of us is a bit higher. So that's something to take note. But if you go super high floor, honestly, both views are very nice. Just that the north facing, you probably don't get that kind of fireworks during the National Day period, which I think may not be that super important. But developer may feel that because of this, the south facing might be a premium. Then later we'll talk about pricing strategy to see whether that makes sense to you. So let's go straight into layout. For the 1+ study, this is the layout. We have 2 stacks of 1+ study, stack 4, which is here, and stack 14, which is here. Then they make up 10% of the whole total unit type. So it's very easy to see because of the north-south orientation over here. All the units are either directly facing north or facing south. So there's no east-facing unit, west-facing unit. You don't have to worry about all this morning and afternoon sun situation. 1+ study in terms of layout, very straightforward. As you can see, main door is over here. You walk in. It's a nice kitchenette. The good thing about this kitchenette is that it's tucked one side over here. So even when you enter, it doesn't feel very cramped up along your walkway. The study is very functional. You can, put a very nice, good-sized study tucked away in one corner. It's not just a small random corner that is beside a dining area. For the master bath, I like that it's a Jack and Jill version. You can enter from here and also enter from your master bedroom. So this kind of Jack and Jill is superior because if you do have guests, they do not need to enter from your master bedroom to your master bath. So if you don't maybe pack up your bed, you don't do your bed usually, you don't need to worry about that. They don't need to see your master bedroom whenever they come back home. Other than that, there's nothing much. Okay, aircon latch, non-strata. So one thing to remind you guys is that this project is a harmonized project, meaning that aircon latch will not be considered as part of the strata area. So for 517 square feet, actually this is quite a spacious unit for a 1+ study. Okay, one interesting factor for this project is that we have this thing called the RC ledges. Unfortunately, we only have this artist impression to show you what these are. So there are these things over here protruding out of the unit and these things over here. It applies to some units, it doesn't apply to all units, and it applies to every unit a bit differently. So you need to scrutinize the floor plan to see how it affects you. For 1+ study, only stack 4 is affected from level 2 all the way to level 40. It protrudes slightly out. So actually for this layout, not so bad. Later on, we will see what are the other floor plans that might be a bit more, I would say, intrusive. But yeah, it's just something for you to take note because you don't want to get a shock of your life when you receive your keys to your house. Then you realize, what's this thing protruding outside of my unit? So RC ledge is this thing outside is to beautify the architecture, make the development more iconic. But what are the things that may affect you is that if you have RC ledge outside of your unit, sometimes there may be, extra dust or dirt or rubbish that may be accumulated over here. Yeah, accumulated over here. And because it's outside of your unit, it's very difficult to wash them or clear them. So they may accumulate over time and it may be unsightly. But honestly, for this 1+ study, not so bad. I don't think it will obstruct that much. But later on, we will see some of the unit types where they can be very huge, like these ones over here, How it affects you, other than all the rubbish, the dirt, the dust, it may also affect the lighting into your unit because definitely you're going to be darker. Imagine you are this unit over here, You are sandwiched between these two RC ledges that's protruding out of your unit. Your unit will definitely be a bit darker than those units without the RC leisure. So something for you to take note. If you ask me, I'd rather go for units that do not have all these RC leisures. 1+ study, most of the people will buy this for investment. So let's look at how the rental performance is like in Toa Payoh. So the best comparison we can have is by using Gem Residences, because this is the newest and it's also just beside us. For Gem, the 1-bedroom rental is average about $3,000. So this is the table. It's also a smaller unit, 44 square feet, one bedroom. This is the resale price, and their rental yield is at 3.91%. Comparing to the Orie, we are 1+ study, so assume we get a rental of $3,500 because we are bigger, and assume 2007 PSF, your purchase price is closer to 1.4 million, your rental yield will only be 3%. So because of that, if you are someone who is looking to buy the Orie just purely for rental yield perspective, then we don't recommend. I'd rather you buy an older resale property, you have immediate rental, and you probably can get a better rental yield. So if you are looking to buy 1+ study, if you are someone who is looking to buy for own stay, maybe for the first few years, then maybe eventually you want to move on to something bigger and rent out this 1+ study, then sure, Orie I think will be a perfect product for you, because it will then be the newest condo in the neighborhood. But if you do not have any own stay intention in mind, then the Orie may not be a super ideal product for you, because there are other districts that will have better rental yield even if you do want to buy a new launch. Then for the 2-bedroom layout. Okay, for the 2-bed 1-bath, this is a very, very interesting layout because it's only 592 square feet, but it provides you with a lot of things. So first thing, we enter the main door, kitchen tucked into one side over here. And then what I love is that we have a kitchen window over here. This window is unheard of for 2-bed 1-bath in, I think, most of the new launches in recent years. I've never seen any kitchen with window for 2-bed 1-bath. 2-bed 2-bath, sure, some of the condos have, and it's already increasingly rare for that. But 2-bed 1-bath, I've never seen before. But that's why this is a very unique selling point. Then your dining is tucked into one side over here. This is great because it gives you more privacy when you open the door. People cannot see your dining area, because if not, right, if there's no this tucked away corner at this side, then your dining, imagine your entrance is over here, your dining will be over here, then there's no privacy in terms of your dining spot. So because of that, I think the developer has planned very meticulously for this 2-bed 1-bath layout, and I absolutely love it because yes, it might be a bit cramped, don't get me wrong, I do think it might be a bit cramped, but at least it gives you the privacy that you unless wouldn't have for a 2-bed 1-bath. And the 2-bed 1-bath dining is also separated from your living. Compared to your 1+ study layout, the dining is together with the living area. Once again, the master bath you can access from here and also access from here. Then some people may argue that, I don't want to access my toilet from the dining area, I don't think it's very nice. Then sure, you may choose to lock that door and just access your bathroom through the master bath, but that's a personal choice. Other than that, I think this layout is very good because both bedrooms you can fit a queen size bed, not an issue. Dumbbell, 592 square feet. Honestly, if not for harmonization, I don't think we can get a 2-bed 1-bath with such a good layout at this square footage. So once again, in terms of the stacks, we have 2 stacks, stack 5, stack 15, and we have 10% of the units for this 2-bed 1-bath, which I expect will be very, very hot in demand. So once again, I've explained this just now during the site plan analysis. We do have a gap between the B1 and the C1. That is the reason why we are able to have that window in the kitchen over here. If not, it's not possible, because if another unit is all over here, then there's no space for your window. Then let's compare the 2-bed 1-bath and the 1+ study, because honestly, in terms of square footage, right, 592 square feet, 517 square feet, the key difference is only 75 square feet. So how would this 75 square feet be in dollars values? So assuming 2007 PSF, then it's about $200,000 difference between the 1+ study and the 2-bed 1-bath. So the main question is this $200,000 worth it? So for $200,000, what do we get? We get an extra bedroom instead of a study, and it's a full bedroom because we can fit a queen size bed. we can also have a kitchen, a proper kitchen, a tucked away kitchen, and not just a tucked away kitchen, we have a tucked away kitchen with window. So I think this is definitely a huge win. Thirdly, we have a dining that is separated from living as compared to here. This dining is together with the living and it can be quite cramped. Then you need to strategize on how big a sofa you need to buy for the 1+ study. So because of all these reasons, I think for 200K you do get quite a bit more bang for the buck. So that's why I think it makes more sense to go for the 2-bed 1-bath, because even for rental, you can expect a higher rental because now it's classified under a 2-bedroom category. So for the 2-bed 1-bath, Stack 5 is the one to look out for because this one has aircon latch. And this aircon latch is the one that I mentioned is a bit more intrusive because this aircon latch protrudes out quite a bit. So you want to take note for that. So as I mentioned previously, if you are unit with aircon ledges on the top and bottom, they will protrude out. Your unit, not only will you see maybe more unsightly rubbish, dirt, you will also expect your unit to be a bit darker because lesser light can enter your unit. So given a choice, I would avoid Stack 5 altogether and go for the south-facing unit without the aircon ledges. So next unit type would be the 2-bed 2-bath. This 2-bed 2-bath, quite similar to the 1-bath, except right now we do not have the window in the kitchen, but the kitchen is still a tucked away kitchen nonetheless. Then for this kitchen over here, if you can see, this part is exposed, so we don't expect them to come with the carpentry on top. So it's probably just a sink protruding out, but the top side of your real estate space, I don't think they're going to build you any carpentry. So storage-wise, maybe a bit lesser. Then, other than that, your second bathroom, as expected, you do have a secondary entrance from the living and dining area. That's also expected. But one key thing to highlight is that do you see that the dining is now merged with the living area, and it kind of make your living area a bit more cramped. So that's something that, because this layout is like that, no choice. And also when you open the main door, right, directly you can see the dining area. So if you're eating something and then you have a delivery and your partner opens the door, they see everything. So for this layout, you get lesser privacy, but you do get an extra bathroom. For the stacks wise, same thing. You have 2 stacks, 10%, north and south facing respectively. So let's compare the 2-bed 2-bath and the 2-bed 1-bath because the square footage is quite a bit different, about 54 square feet. Okay, so actually the square footage is a bit smaller in terms of the difference. But if you look at it, it's an extra 145K for an extra bathroom. But what are the trade-offs? The trade-off is the kitchen with window. The trade-off is your more spacious dining or more private dining. The trade-off is also the privacy because right now, if you go for the 2-bed 2-bath, you don't have that kind of privacy. Then I think in terms of the usage of the space, the 2-bed 2-bath is a bit less efficient compared to the 2-bed 1-bath. So because of all these reasons, I feel that the 2-bed 1-bath should be preferred over the 2-bed 2-bath. Then we also have the 2-bed 2-bath conventional layouts for people who prefer a bit more privacy in the master bedroom and living room area. So once again, we come in main entrance. The good thing is there's no wastage of space. You open your door immediately, there's the kitchen. It's an L-shaped kitchen, and also we can expect this part to be exposed. So probably they don't build you the top carpentry. That's something to take note. Dining area is separated from the living, so that's also quite nice. There's a good gap. But bear in mind, this part is also a bit tight, but no choice. The good thing is they already give you a separate dining and living. So that's already a bonus compared to your neighbors. Both bedrooms come with full queen size bed size. That's okay. That's also expected. Bathrooms, both tucked to one side, but no windows. So for this layout, nice layout, conventional. Why is it more private if you ask? Is because, for example, if let's say you and your partner, you own the house and then your partner invites their friends over, but you just want to have an early night off, you can sleep and then your partner's friends can party over in the living room area. Because there is one more bedroom and one more bathroom to buffer the noise, you probably can get a better rest when they party. But if it's a dumbbell layout, like this, then honestly, if they are here, regardless which room you are in, right, you are going to get a full-blown sound. So because of that, some people may prefer the conventional layout to get a bit more privacy. Yes, but you do pay this extra space, and that's why for square footage wise, the conventional layout will take up a bit more square footage because you need to pay this extra walkway. In terms of stacks, same thing, you have two stacks, stack 10, stack 20, 10% of the units. So comparing the conventional and the dumbbell 2-bed 2-bath, the price difference, only 32 square feet, 86K. But for this 86K, honestly, I don't think you get too much difference unless it's just a privacy thing. But it's not like here you have windows or here you have windows. So because of that, I think it's not worth it to pay for the $86,000. I'd rather you just pay lower, go for the 646 square feet. Because during resale time, you are much more affordable. It's easier for you to exit during the resale times. Lastly, for the 2-bedroom layouts, we have the 2-bedroom plus study, 700 square feet. So when you enter, once again, there is no wastage of your foyer area. Straight away on your left side, you have the study, right side kitchen. Can you see that this part is the glass of the kitchen? So it's likely that your kitchen will be very bright, and likely they may build carpentry on top because the design is this way. Yes. Then dining and living also separated. This is something I like. Then bedrooms, same thing. Bathrooms, same thing. Yeah, but this is a very efficient layout. 700 square feet. You have 2 bed, 2 bath, and also study. 2 stacks, 78 units, 10%. So, but take note of this RC ledge. So this RC ledge may be something that may be a bit of a concern. But yeah, let's see. So comparing the 2-bed plus study and the 2-bed 2-bath 678 square feet, why do we compare these two? Because the difference is only 22 square feet. In terms of affordability, they are very close, only $60,000 difference. Because of that, definitely go for the study because the study is a huge plus in terms of layout. If only it's just $60,000 for a study, it's super worth it because some people even pay $100,000+, $200,000+ for a bathroom. For a study, only $60,000, super worth it. So I highly recommend for you to go for the 2+ study if you're comparing these two layouts. Then this is the summary of all the 2 bedrooms we have covered so far. So first thing, maybe you can tell from my tone already, the preferred choice for the 2 bedrooms will be the 2-bed 1-bath. It's the cheapest, most affordable, but in terms of layout, it's also the best. We expect this layout to sell out first because if you took note of the supply of the 2-bedroom, almost every unit type comes in 2 stacks, means 10%, 10%, 10%. But the 2-bed 1-bath stands out really a lot. So this one will be something that people will look at even in resale times. It's easier for you to exit. Then second choice, in my opinion, will be the B4S because 2+ study is very close in terms of price point with B3. For extra 60,000 thereabout, you can get an extra study. I think it's super worth it. So B4S will be my second choice. Third choice, B2. Then fourth choice will be the B3. Why B3 is the last choice is because it's too close to the 2+ study price point. I think it's not worth it. So B3 will be my fourth choice. This B2 will be my third choice. So this will be my overall ranking for the 2 bedrooms. And I think even for launch day, I think they will be sold out like that. Yeah. Next, let's go through the 3-bedroom layout. So for 3-bedroom, this is quite an interesting layout because it's only 850 square feet. They are able to give you 3 bedrooms. So let's walk through the floor plan first. Main entrance, first thing, again, no wastage of your space. Bathroom by your side, kitchen by your side, and this kitchen you do have the glass kitchen, so it will be quite bright. And one good thing, you do have a store over here, which is quite rare for a 3-bedroom compact because for the compact or the 3-bedroom classic, usually they don't come with the store, and store can be difficult. Storage can be a very difficult, it's a challenging issue for a lot of people buying a 3-bedroom classic. So for 850 square feet, it gave you 3 bedrooms and can still give you a store. Yeah, that's quite wonderful, huh? Then bedroom 2, a bit of I don't know how to feel about it because why? This bedroom is not like your conventional ones where it's facing this side, it's facing this side. So as you can see, the window for the bedroom 2 is also a bit smaller. Why is this the case? Is because if you recall for B1 layout, there's a gap between B1 and C1. So this is the gap. And then there's a B1 unit over here with the window. So C1, the window is over here. Yeah. So essentially, bedroom 2 is facing a wall, like the B1's wall. Yeah, and then it's just a very small gap of airwell maybe. So bedroom 2 essentially doesn't have a view. That's something that I want to highlight. But they still can somewhat fit a 6-seater for the dining, although you are protruding out over here. Yeah, but it's a 3-bedroom classic. This is expected. Both other bedrooms can fit a queen-size bed, not an issue. Master bath, yeah, it's all pretty standard. So this unit is interesting because, of course, if you have the money, then I don't think this is your number one choice for a 3-bedroom. But if you come in from an affordability point of view, right, it's only 850 square feet. Yet they can pack you with so many things. If you do need a 3-bedroom and if you do have a tight budget, then this is something that is really very interesting. Yeah, but if you ask me, the main challenge would be kitchen, no window. So kitchen, no window, but store, this is a plus point. Bedroom 2 windows is a meh, but the bedroom sizes are all good. You know, it's not like bedroom 2 can only fit a single size bed. It's not like that. And if you think about it, bedroom 2 has an ensuite bathroom. It's linked with bath 2, which is quite crazy because most of the 3 bedrooms, you only have one ensuite, which is the master. Then bedroom 2 and 3 usually share the common bath. But for this layout, they're able to give you 2 ensuite, which is also quite rare. So for this kind of layout, right, I feel if you're an investor looking to rent out the bedroom separately, then this layout should appeal to you because you can rent out maybe like 2 master, and then this bedroom 3 you have to share the bathroom 2 and then you can rent out these bedrooms separately. For the people who are a bit more aggressive or you want to rent to co-living, you may consider to do a partition over here, but I don't think that is legal, so that's something you need to check. But yeah, some people may even want to build a partition over here, have a bedroom with the balcony. Then you have 4 bedrooms for this layout. So let's consider if, let's say, you are someone who is looking to buy something to rent out, and how is the rental yield like? So another case study we can look at is Gem Residence, because Gem Residence has this thing called Trio or triple key, which is, I think, the only one in the market that's triple key. We have heard of dual key, but triple key, I think this is the only time you'll hear. So maybe because this is a very unique floor plan, right? So let me go through with you. You have the foyer, enter, come in, you have 3 doors. Door 1, door 2, door 3. Leads you to 3 separate units. They have their own bathrooms, they have their own bedroom, their own fridge, their own wardrobe, and they all have balconies. So honestly, this is a pretty solid layout. And all their bathrooms have windows, so pretty solid. So for the Gem Residence, each of these bedroom, right, can get them 2003 in terms of rental. So assume Orie, each bedroom rents out at 2001. So why 2001 is because we don't have balcony for each of the bedroom. Our bathroom also do not have the window. So therefore, I think 2001 might be a more reasonable rental that people will be willing to pay for. So therefore, if you rent out 3 bedrooms separately, you are getting 6,003 in terms of rental. Assume launch PSF still 2007 because it's a smaller 3-bedroom. Then, and we assume the price of 3-bedroom to be 2.3 million thereabout. Your rental yield is 3.29%. It's okay, but it's not like super all in the world kind. The only way to get your really high rental yield is, like I said before, maybe you partition out the 4th bedroom, but I need to check because that part we think it might not be legal. So that's something that you need to do your own due diligence for that. So if you were to do this, 3+%, not bad for rental, but also not the best. If you can hit 4%, that is the best. But for 3+%, this is pretty solid for Toa Payoh, but you can do better elsewhere. So next, for the 3-bedroom, we have the 1023 square feet, 1044 square feet. We put these two together because they are very similar, only one stack each side. Key difference is the walkway. So this one, shorter walkway, this one longer walkway. Another key difference is the facing. C2 smaller unit, south facing, or what we call a better facing. And then 1044 square feet longer walkway, north facing. Yeah, which is not too bad a facing also, but south may be more preferred in terms of the view. Then let's go through the floor plan in detail. So let's look at the 1023 square feet. The foyer area is nice because you have this staggered walkway, which means you open the main door, there's full privacy, no one can look into your unit. I like that you have an enclosed kitchen. Enclosed kitchen with a yard, all of these things are quite long. So this is pretty solid. You also have a yard area with the window just beside. WC comes with window. This is pretty solid. Because if you recall, Nava Grove, they have a WC, but doesn't come with the windows for the WC lah. Home shelter within the kitchen area, that's quite standard. What I like is the dining area, 6-seater comfortably. So maybe if you want to add in a 7-seater here, you might be able to do so. Yeah, you might be able to do so. So the living area should be quite spacious. We don't have the dimension now, unfortunately. But if you can fit a 6-seater here comfortably like that, as the floor plan suggests, then your living area, the dimension, the width, should be quite comfortable. All 3 bedrooms can fit queen size bed, pretty standard. Bathrooms all have windows. So if you recall, the C1 layout do not come with bathrooms with windows. So yeah, that's a bit lacking. So if you are looking to buy for own stay, to upgrade, this might be your best option for the 3-bedroom. C2A, once again, as I mentioned, not much of a difference. The key difference is just in the walkway and a different facing. So because of that, we will prefer 1023 square feet if the pricing is close. So we are studying whether there's any difference in terms of the PSF price, because we believe the south facing is more of a premium because it's city view. So if there's no price premium, no brainer in terms of 2007 PSF for both, go for this because it's cheaper. You don't get much of a difference anyway, just buy what is more affordable. If there's a 3% premium, and that's about $26,000 for the south facing because the developer feels that that's a more premium view, then the pricing will be $2.844 million compared to $2.818 million. Difference is only about $26,000. Even for that, we feel that 1023 square feet is worth it, because if you do go for a very high floor unit, in resale times, people may prefer better facing. Not so rational, but people buy for own stay. So if they like it, they would pay top dollar for it. However, if the premium goes up to 5%, $82,000, 2.9 million versus 2.818 million, then this is where the north facing would make more sense, because no way you pay $82,000 for a smaller unit just for that National Day fireworks lah. So this is how we're going to rank. During balloting that time, you need to go and find out for different stacks what is the premium for the same floor, and then you decide there and then which are the units that you want to prioritize while you're queuing. So it's a very stressful situation. Make sure you have all this prepared before you go down for balloting. Make sure what are the units that you want to find out in terms of prices, so you can make a better decision while queuing up. Okay, then we have the 3-bedroom dual key, 1130 square feet. How this dual key works, right, is that when you enter the foyer, you have a staggered foyer also, but in terms of privacy, no problem lah, because anyway you have a separate entrance towards here and here. So let's go through the studio first. Studio, we have a pantry, like a kitchenette over here. You have fridge, washer dryer, sink. Yeah, you have everything. Then studio bath. The studio bath does not come with window. That's expected. Then the studio itself fits a queen size bed. That's also pretty good. Wardrobe also provided. Then windows lah. Unfortunately, this one does not come with a balcony. So yeah. Then for the 2-bedroom portion, you still can fit a very good size dining 6-seater, all flushed in, not like the compact where that one is a bit protruded out. This one is all flushed in, which means the width should be quite good. Yeah, kitchen, very unique. It's linked to your balcony, which means your kitchen should be very spacious, very good air ventilation. If you do like to cook a lot, this kitchen will be a very interesting layout. Home shelter is facing the walkway instead of within the kitchen, both bathrooms come with windows for the 2-bedroom portion. Then bear in mind there's also this RC latch. So do take a look out when you're at the show flat. Take a look at how the RC latch may affect you. Dual key, interesting. There's only one stack. How you can go about doing it, right, is that you can either, there's 3 ways to own this property or to use this property. First way, you can stay in a whole 3-bedroom. The studio maybe is for your aged parents. You may want some privacy, and then you stay at the 2 bedrooms portion. So that's how you can utilize the entire unit on your own. Second way is you stay at the 2-bedroom unit and then you rent out the studio for passive income to help you to bring down your rental. So just now we mentioned rental, maybe you can fetch about 2001 to 2003. That will help you in the cash portion for your monthly mortgage while you continue to stay in the 2-bedroom. Third way, you can stay in the studio and rent out the 2-bedroom. But if you do stay in the studio for long term, might be a bit sad. Maybe not a very long-term strategy, but it does probably help you in terms of your mortgage. Third way would be to rent out the whole thing as 2 separate entities, the 2-bedroom and the 1-bedroom. So let's look at how it would be. So I prepared 3 prices, 25, 26, 27 PSF. And let's look at, even for 25 PSF, right, that's about $2.83 million. Assume dual keys rent out separately, studio rent at this, 2-bedroom rent at this, total rent about $7,500. Then, and I assume you reprice at 2.55% because that's the current rate. It might go down, but for now it's about 2.55% interest rate. And I assume that you do a repricing or refinance, your loan will be $8,400. Based on $8,400 and your total rent $7,400, your rental cannot cover the loan. So even if you do buy the 3-bedroom dual key and rent out separately, because your rental cannot cover your loan, we don't think the dual key is a very good layout because the rental cannot cover, then what's the point, right? So dual key, usually even in the new launch market, they do move a bit slower. Among all the new launches, they are one of the last few to be sold out. There's a reason why, because sometimes you are spending this kind of amount, right? You just want to stay in the entire area. So dual key was a very popular concept back when, I think 2013, when the cooling measures came and there's additional buyer stamp duty. A lot of developers got to become more creative in terms of how can they sell you 1 unit, but actually there's 2 units within it. So that's how dual keys came about. But after so many years, I think people realized that that may not be a lifestyle that they may prefer. Sure, the dollars and cents make sense, but you don't have privacy because you're going to see your tenant all day, every day. And there may be friction, and these are intangible costs. So because of that, maybe that's why dual keys may not perform as well during resale. So having said that, of all the 3-bedroom layouts, we will prefer the 1023 square feet, south facing, only 1 stack. So this one, guys, if you really like this unit, you definitely need to buy with a family member. Your family member can aim for the 1+ study or even the 2-bedroom. But yes, if you are not buying with a family member, even if you're an agent watching this, I don't think you can get it, because this is a superb layout, very comfortable for own stay. If you think about it, who are the people buying a 3-bedroom? They are mostly HDB upgraders. And HDB upgraders, if you look at HDB floor plan, this is almost exactly how a HDB 4-room or even 5-room layout gonna look like, except they don't usually have a balcony But the kitchen, the home shelter, the yard, they don't have a WC for sure, but the 2 bathrooms, everything is very similar to a HDB layout. So that means that they have a certain expectation, and the expectation is being met because this is what they are used to in terms of floor plan. So when they want to upgrade their lifestyle, this is a bare minimum that they want to look at, and as long as they are able to afford this, they will proceed. So guys, only 1 stack. Then the next question would be, Nick, I buy this at whatever price, 2007 PSF you said, can I sell this in resale time? So how do we gauge that? We do some research. So for Toa Payoh, the latest BTO estate is Toa Payoh Apex. There's no 5-room, so the max is a 4-room. Let's look at how the 4-room performance is. BTO price, average 460K, they bought from HDB. Resale price today, this is also based on HDB website, estimated sale price 1.05 million, capital appreciation 590k. This is pretty good lah. But of course, they have to hold 3 to 4 years from BTO and then another 5 years of staying for the MOP. So about 8 to 9 years to earn this 590k. But this is their first pot of gold. So with this first pot of gold, can they afford Orie from you next time? Okay, so let's do another case study. We assume the husband and wife, they apply a BTO at Toa Payoh Apex, and we assume that they earn $6,000 each during BTO application and $6,800 after keys collection. We want to find out during the 4 years while waiting for the BTO and the 5 years while staying in the HDB, how much CPF could they have accumulated. So this is a rough estimate, about $360,000. Coupled with the capital gain that we see, $590,000, there's a total of $950,000 of firepower that can be used for the down payment when they want to buy their next property. So how is this $950,000 relevant to us? If today you buy the Orie at $2.7 million and then you were to sell this to the BTO upgraders, assume we sell at $3 million. What's the down payment for $3 million? It's about $870,000. So this amount is well within the $950,000 that we see here. Definitely, the BTO upgraders are able to pay you at $3 million for the down payment. 3.1 million sale price, down payment $901,000. 3.2 million, they are still able to afford because it's only $932,000, well within $950,000. So imagine you buy at 2.7 million, you sell at $3.2 million. This is an estimate of $500,000 capital appreciation. It is possible. Yeah, because this is us assuming they sell today. Let's say the market continues to run for another 3 to 4 years at TOP. Let's say the BTO has also increased in price, or newer Toa Payoh HDBs have come to TOP. They may sell at 1.1, 1.2 million. It is possible. Then yeah, you potentially can sell even higher at that time. So this slide is to show you that it is possible. We agree 2.7 million is a very high price, but the key question is, how would this price affect us? Can the next buyer afford to buy our property 3 to 4 years later? So the answer is yes, they can, because based on today's case study, based on an estate that's already MOP, today's price, they're able to buy at $3.2 million without any cash top up. So that's a very important thing, because most people don't want to use cash from their savings to pay for the down payment, because you maybe want to save for your furniture, your renovation. But the good thing about the Orie at that time would be it will be totally brand new. So if you want to buy a 3-bedroom to flip, it is a very good strategy, because you can sell to all these BTO upgraders. They look at it, they may even pay you a bit higher just because they can save on renovation and they can leverage on their loan. So the 3-bedroom is a very interesting, 2.7 all the way to 3.2 is possible. So one typo over here, this is not the 3-bedroom classic, this is the 1023 square feet layout that we are talking about. So not your 3-bedroom classic. Next, let's go for the 4-bedroom layout. 4-bedroom, D1 and this is the D2. 1216 and 1216 square feet, both are about the same. Key difference, once again, is the walkway. First one, the D1, the walkway is a bit longer vertically. Then D2, walkway a bit longer horizontally. So what's the key difference? For the horizontally one, it's definitely preferred because when they open the door, they will see a wall, which means if your neighbors want to peek, they can't see anything. But if you were to open the door here, your neighbors peek, they can see a lot of things. So that's why same size, everything else is the same. Later we'll go through, but the D2 is a much more preferred layout just because you get a bit more privacy. So let's go through the D1 layout in detail. Once you come in, you have a dry kitchen over here. This is something that sets us apart from the 3-bedroom. Dining, 8-seater, but do note it's vertically placed. That means that if you were to put it in horizontally, the 8-seater probably will not fit. That's why the developer has to place it this way. Then you have a dry kitchen, wet kitchen, yard, and your storeroom is over here. Washer dryer is also over here. Yeah, pretty spacious. WC also included, also comes with the window. That's pretty great. DB box is over here. This may be useful if you are someone who, you you want to make sure that your Wi-Fi has good coverage for the entire unit. It's likely since the DB box is situated here, you have better coverage. You don't need to buy any mesh to reinforce the network. Yeah, and also for a more practical tip, if you do have any power outage, the power trip, this is a more convenient location to go to your circuit breaker and then to switch on everything. So this DB box, I would say quite strategic. Then all 4 bedrooms are facing one side, facing this way. All 4 bedrooms can fit queen size bed. That's pretty neat. It's not like the last bedroom can only fit a single bed. That is not the case. Then both bathrooms also comes with windows. So nothing to complain about. I think this 4 bedroom layout is pretty solid. But since they are pretty similar, only difference is in the entrance. I definitely prefer this one because I get more privacy. So 4 bedroom is a pretty solid layout. Then next, the 4 bed plus study, 1367 square feet. So let's look at the layout first. So unfortunately, this one you don't have the good foyer, staggered foyer. You just come in, same thing, dry kitchen. This dry kitchen is a bit more spacious. You have an island over here, coupled with this one. So a bit more island space. What I like though is the dining now can be placed horizontally, which means the width is wider, definitely, compared to your D1, D2. So, which means your living area is also more spacious because they're the same walls. White kitchen, yard, home shelter, WC, all pretty standard. Your DB is all the way at the back. Then there's a store over here. They separate the store and the DB box. So he has a small store on top of a home shelter, which is pretty neat. Then the key difference, of course, is the study. Study is a very good size from the floor plan. So likely if you want to have your helper to sleep in the study room, possibly you can. Maybe you can get a Murphy bed, a fold-down bed, so that the study can be converted into your helper's room. Then you have a sliding door because it does come with windows. So if you want to have your helper sleep there, it is possible. Yeah, I think it's quite possible. 4 bedrooms all facing same side. This is similar to the other 4 bedrooms. The only downside is the view. Because as I mentioned previously, this is the one where the view will be blocked by the other block. So there's actually not much of a point if you go too high. Yes, you potentially can get a bit of the view this way, but you probably need to stand at the balcony to see a very nice view. If you are sitting at the living area, you look up, probably you'll be looking at your neighbors. But the good thing is probably it will be less noisy because let's say Lorong 1, this might be a bit noisier. Lorong 4 here might be also a bit noisier because these are roads. But yeah, that's about it for the 4 plus study. Then let's look at what is the premium for a 4 plus study. So assume launch price 2006 PSF because this is a bigger floor plan, bigger floor footage. So we assume it's a lower PSF. Then 2006 times 1216 square feet, that's the price of the smaller 4 bedroom, is about 3.162 million. 4 plus study, 3.55 million. The gap is about $400,000. $400,000 for a wider living dining. For a study, I think not quite worth it. So because of that, I will go for the D2 layout instead rather than the 4 plus study. Unless you have a helper and you want to place your helper in the study area, like that is a non-negotiable, then no choice. Then 4 plus study is something that you really need. Yeah, so once again, we put the floor plan side by side. $400,000. This one you get more privacy, this one less privacy. But the living dining, definitely this is wider. You can fit your 8-seater horizontally. That's a huge plus. But yeah, it's $400,000. So $400,000 just for additional study, just for a wider living dining, I don't think it's quite worth it. Because for the viewer who come, yes, they can appreciate the space, but is it worth $400,000? So I don't think it is. Choice unit, D2. D2 is over here facing this way. So unblocked, only one stack, I think will be highly sought after. You see D1 is also blocked. So D1 is the one where the walkway is straight here. But yeah, D1 will be blocked by the 4 bedroom plus study. So because of that, D1 is also not preferred. D2 is a very, very solid layout and also solid location within the site plan. Lastly, we have the 5 bedroom. 5 bedroom, only one layout, 2 stacks, about 10%. Unit type, 1453 square feet. This is harmonized project. So maybe it's about 1,005 plus square feet if it's for non-harmonized calculation. Key thing, the key difference is the private lift over here. So only the 5 bedroom comes with private lift, with a private lift lobby. Also fully private because you have this additional wall over here, which means, let's say, after it's so private already, but you still come out with the lift with your neighbors, they are not able to look at any part of your house except this wall. So they are not able to see what's inside of your house. But the living dining is very solid. You have an 8-seater over here, and you still have space over on both sides, which means your living area should be very massive. Balcony, also very good size. Possibly you can have a 8-seater because this fits. So you can have an 8-seater in your balcony. You can buy like Hai Di Lao soup base and just have Hai Di Lao at your balcony. Probably better eating experience than being in a restaurant. Dry kitchen at the back, and then you have a very nice full wet kitchen over here. Yard, over here with window. WC comes with window, that's pretty good. Washer dryer just beside the yard, that's also nice. Home shelter at the back. So this layout is really quite good, except maybe for the wet kitchen might be a bit darker because the window is a bit smaller here. But no choice, I think it's a setback, but in terms of the floor plan, the rest of the floor plan is very well planned. So wet kitchen, if it's a bit darker, I think people can accept that. You have a separate service door over here, which is great, and it's also expected for a floor plan with a proper private lift lobby. All 5 bedrooms can fit queen size bed. You have 2 en-suites. You have a master, which is massive, just that lacking of a walk-in wardrobe over here. Then you have a junior master that leads to the junior master bath that comes with window, and the junior master bath does not share, the bathroom is not shared with any other bedrooms. It's really just for the junior master, so it's a true junior master bath. Bathroom 2 does not come with window, but no choice because this is already a very long floor plan. If they give you windows for that, then I think you need to pay extra square footage just for the window. Other than that, not much complaints. Just maybe master bath, don't have a walk-in wardrobe, don't have a his and her sink. Maybe that might be something that people might feel, it's a bit of a pity. But I think for people looking at 5 bedroom, the big living dining area is something that is much more important, and I feel that CDL has delivered in terms of that. Then let's look at 5 bedroom supply in Toa Payoh and how, if you are a 5 bedroom buyer, whether is this a good buy or not. So first thing we look at supply. Within a whole Toa Payoh, there's only one condo with 5 bedrooms, and that is Gem Residences. No other condos, as I mentioned in the first few slides, has 5 bedroom. Only Gem Residences. And out of all the, I think there's 30 plus units of, 37 units, sorry, this is very blur, but 37 units, only 37 units of 5 bedroom are from Gem Residences in the whole of Toa Payoh. Out of these 37 units, only 1 unit is for sale at Property Guru now. So that means that it's actually very rare within the whole market, which means if you want to sell at any time, you might be the only seller. So what does this mean to you? If you're the only seller, do you think you can sell high, or do you think people are not willing to pay high? So it's very likely that if you're the only seller, you can call whatever price that you want, and if someone is in the market to look for a 5 bedroom, they have no choice but to pay you whatever price that you want to call for, provided the bank can match the value. So being so rare is definitely a huge advantage if you are looking to buy a 5 bedroom, and if you are looking at 5 bedroom at the Orie specifically. So let's compare Gem Residences 5 bedroom and Orie and see how we fare. For Gem Residences, living dining, very wide frontage, this is good. Balcony not super big, also nice, but their main thing is that their 4th and 5th bedroom only can fit single bed, and the 4th and 5th bedroom are facing behind, and there's additional balcony space here which I feel is a bit wasted. So because of that, honestly, I think they are 1313 square feet. This is quite big for a pre-harmonized project. Because of all of these, I think Orie is definitely a much more superior layout compared to Gem. Yeah, so once Orie TOP, honestly, if you are owner of Gem Residences 5 bedroom, you should be a bit worried because, yeah, lah, I think layout wise, Gem is a bit lacking. So let's look at if what's the past performance of other estates 5 bedroom when there's a limited 5 bedrooms within the area. So one case study will be Marymount and Jadescape. Jadescape also have 5 bedroom, and within Jadescape vicinity there are limited 5 bedrooms. So Jadescape itself there's 39 units. Then we have only Swimming Plaza, which is very old, have the 5 bedroom. The rest are all 4 bedrooms only. Then for Jadescape, there were only 4 units on sale on Property Guru. So very, very limited, 4 units out of 39. So how's the profits like if someone did enter to buy Jadescape 5 bedroom? The profits is crazy. You can see someone who entered in 2020, exit 2023, earn as much as $1.122 million. Why is that the case? Is because it's likely when they sell at that time, when they sold at that time, they were one of the rare 2 units. So it's only this one, number 1, number 2, that's around the same time selling. Only these 2 units that was sold at the same time. Yeah, and this is higher floor, level 8, this level 5, same stack some more. Yeah, but I think because maybe this was the only unit for sale at that time, then they could call the price. So yeah, buying a 5 bedroom in an estate where there's very limited supply will definitely give you an edge during resale times. Yes, it is not cheap, it is not so affordable, but if you are looking for bang for the buck, I think this is very, very value lah. Then you may also ask, Jadescape sold $4.55 million. Jadescape Marymount area is an area with landed properties. How did the landed property fare? For a freehold original condition, it was sold $3.4 million, size 2,000 square feet, is quite sizable. A more renovated unit sold at $4.338 million. So $4.55 million, Jadescape 5 bedroom is actually sold higher than freehold landed, whether is it renovated or original condition. Jadescape outperformed a freehold landed even though it is 99 years. So it's very likely that it is possible, and it is shocking even to us, but it is very possible. That means that whatever price that you buy, even for the Orie 5 bedroom, it is likely they can still shoot up and surpass a landed pricing. Why is that the case? Some people just prefer to stay in a condo because you don't need to spend so much time and effort to maintain the facade, the unit itself, or they don't like pests, or they just like the feeling of being in a condo, in a high-rise building, a single floor plate, especially if you are living with multi-generational. Yeah, so there is an appeal for condo. We don't quite understand as well, but if you think about it, supply limited, right? Maybe 1 or 2 units for sale anytime. You just need 1 or 2 buyers. It's not going to be easy to sell. That 5 bedroom, don't get me wrong, it's not like you list on the market, within 1 to 2 months you can get it sold. May not be the case. You may need to take 6 months or even up to 1 year. But when the buyer does come and pay for you, then I think it's all quite worth it because you might be the only one that is selling. Yeah, and buyers of 5 bedroom, right, likely may not be that price sensitive because they have different considerations in mind. Sure, they need the 5 bedrooms, number 1, but how's your unit facing is like, how high floor it is, what kind of view there is. If you do command a much better view than your neighbors, I'm sure they are willing to pay top premium for your unit. So these are things that we need to consider when purchasing a unit of this kind of quantum. So one thing also to highlight that why Orie 5 bedroom is a very good layout is that for EOK 5 bedroom, this was also fully sold, but the private lift, right, is actually just beside the main door. And that's something that we felt that it's a bit lacking because most of the service door should be at the kitchen area. If you put the service door to be just beside the private lift, then honestly kind of defeats the purpose of having a private lift. But having said that, EOK also sold during the first day. And if you ask me, Katong as a location might be a bit more atas in terms of layout. Even though this was lacking, the market could still absorb. It shows that if Orie has a more superior 5 bedroom layout, I think Orie 5 bedroom will also have a very high chance of having very good sales. I wouldn't say sold out in 1 day, but has a very good chance of doing very well during the first day of launch. Yeah, and also EOK does not have a junior master as mentioned here. So Orie has. And that's something that I think does give us an edge. So I've come to the end of the presentation. Preview period is not finalized yet. This is tentative. It's either 3rd January or 10th January. You will start the 2 weeks preview period. So during this preview period, what will happen is that you can make an appointment, go down to the SHOWFLAT, take a look at the product, and then drop a check if you are keen to join the balloting exercise. But key thing is, if you already know that you're interested, then it's high time that you start finding a family member to buy this project with, because from past experiences from EOK and Toa Payoh, as I mentioned previously, yes, it is very likely that if you are looking at very popular layouts like the 3-bedroom or even a 4-bedroom or even a 2-bed 1-bath, these layouts will be very highly contested. If you are joining a single queue, I think it's very difficult for you to even buy a unit, and not even mentioning buying a unit at a very good price, because most of the time, especially for a 40-story kind of development, the entry price for a lower floor unit will definitely be lower than high floor unit. But sometimes is the high floor premium worth it? That's another question, and that's another video altogether. But if your queue number is early enough, the first 100 for example, you can go ahead and buy a lower floor unit, save that maybe $100 PSF, and you can exit much easier next time. So yeah, it does make a difference, just by queue number, and sometimes it boils down to luck. But sometimes we don't want to just count on luck to see whether we can get a good buy. So that is why, if you have a family member that has a spare name, that's looking to purchase a property, this is high time to talk to them and get them to do this with you, so you all can do bulk purchase and you can potentially get a very good buy. Because usually bulk purchase is under VVIP slot. You can potentially get a better discount, because some developers may increase price during balloting day itself when they see the sales keep improving. So to avoid that, then bulk purchase really is the way to go. So if you need to know more information about that, feel free to reach out to me. I can explain more to you in person. But as I mentioned, preview period 2 weeks. Drop a check if you are interested to join for the booking. Then booking day would then be 18th January if the preview started at 3rd Jan, 25th January if the preview starts at 10th Jan. So it's only 2 weeks period. Then December, everyone is flying everywhere, so you need to start strategizing. So the time to plan is actually now. If you do have any agents to book the appointment, feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave my contact details down below. We do have quite a bit of information on hand already, even though SHOWFLAT is not open. But yes, please reach out to me if you need any help in selecting a unit at the Orie, because as what we experienced previously, it is going to be a very stressful situation. So we want to make sure that you do have a professional to help you guide through this very stressful process. If not, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video has been very helpful for you. If you like this kind of content, please do subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. You will really help the channel grow. My name is Nicholas Woon, and I hope to see you in the next one.